Hi there, folks. Simon here. You will probably notice that this looks a little bit different than my usual videos do, and that's because this was actually recorded by Aliono2. I wasn't able to make it to this game, but he recorded it for me, so thankfully he did that and did some commentary on it as well. This is the tiebreaker game of the quarterfinals of the 2022 TAC Championships, and the quarterfinals matches are 4 games long, and they being Abyss and PlutoTheBrave, played 4 games and split all 4 of them. And so now we're on this 5th tiebreaker game. This game is played on the same 15-minute with 15-second increment timer. However, there's some interesting bidding functionality with komi that's going on. That's how the tiebreaker works. I don't really understand it still, and it turns out neither did Pluto or Abyss. And so they put up numbers and they didn't really understand how it worked, even when they made it. So there was some weird shenanigans around it, and I don't think even the tournament director, Arch Venison, understood how it worked completely. But now we're here, and accidentally, I see PlutoTheBrave got 1.5 komi as black. And that was not what he was going for, not what he wanted to do, but he did it, and that's how it ended up. So that is what we're playing today. It's Abyss in white, PlutoTheBrave in black, 1.5 komi, meaning that there is no possibility for a draw. So, that being said, let's jump right into this Game 5 to see who makes it on to the semifinals.
And the first move is on. We are playing opposite corners. Abyss is going for a knight's opening. Let's see how Pluto combats this. Playing e3, blocking white from going for the vertical. Rapid fire moves from both sides. We have Abyss going for the setup with a flat stone on f4. This works towards both the horizontal and vertical move. Pluto is mirroring, and Abyss plays capstone d3 in order to just try to cover up these 2 flat stones that black has. It's a strong capstone placement. And yeah, Pluto now needs to deal with this one way or the other. d4. Interesting. So, typically in those kinds of positions, I believe you should trade places. So, capstone d3 should be met with capstone d4 by black. Playing a flat there might be too weak. Because I mean, white is just free to go for c4, b4, a4, and just get the horizontal in. And there's nothing stopping white from getting it. So, and also another thing, it might become difficult for black to place his capstone anywhere really. But that's not the position we're in yet. But yeah, it might be a consideration in the future. So white has a choice of going for the vertical or the horizontal here. Chooses the horizontal. I think that's a natural choice. But yeah, regardless, I mean, this is a solid position for white. And again, we are playing with 1.5 komi, so there will be no draw this game. This game decides the result of this match of Abyss versus Pluto. There will be no further tiebreaker. I mean, unless I suppose unless they get into an infinite repetition, which is technically possible in TAC. So Pluto is playing at c5, somewhat scattering his flats around the board. I'm not sure what the intentions are here. White on the other end just going for just a straight line on the 4th rank. Black placing the capstone on e5. Now this is an interesting capstone placement because it creates this kind of Z shape, which is typically rather strong after the capstone moves onto e4, which it might be forced to soon. Now, I think if I'm white, I would play a4 here and make the tag threat. It just looks right. And if the capstone comes down to e4, I think you can just play d5 and intend to capture with the capstone on d4 and create this sort of connection, or this sort of connection, going around the capstone. Now black will not just let that happen. Okay, so white delays a4, instead going for b5. This is to counteract black's horizontal, but black decides to play d5, going for the horizontal anyway. Now b6 basically permanently prevents black from getting the horizontal in there. So that's one of the moves that's expected. So sorry, so does a5. Because a5 is a tag threat. And afterwards black has no real way to go around this. Because no matter if he takes a6 or b6, then white will take the other spot. So I think a5 is a very strong move here. Makes the tag threat, blocks off the horizontal for black. And black is already in serious trouble. Especially since black has only 1.5 komi. White instead goes for b6, very slow playing the position. I mean, it is an approach, I suppose, but I think I was about to say that black might want to play on d6, intending to go for the horizontal. Sorry, the vertical now. Which would be an interesting attempt, but instead takes on e4. And now white has to do something. So white does have momentum. White can just ignore black's. Black places that early wall. This wall is in range of the white capstone if it comes over to c3. But probably its intentions are more towards the b4 side. I think if I'm white, I would just play d2 anyway. This would make the tag threat and it would force the b3 plus play. Pretty much. And afterwards I would just go for c6. So this still would keep momentum, because 1, 2, and black has 1, 2, 3. And yeah, I mean, it would probably force 2b4 plus from black. But this is a very complicated position. I mean, white can also be looking at placing on e5 or e6 in order to eventually capture with this capstone on d4 and then d5 and then go for a road that way. But okay, opts to go for d2 now. b3 up happens, and now it's white's turn to do something. Again, I like d1 here. I like c6 here. I think c6 I like slightly better. e2 instead. So e2 is designed to hem in black's vertical. It's going like a ladder right now, but that ladder is going to get cut off with f1 now. I mean, I don't expect white will just play e1 because that would give black the attack threat. And I'm not sure that's what white wants. But yeah, overall I would say that this is a very strong position for white. So white is giving black the attack threat on f1. Is white's position equipped correctly to deal with this attack threat already? Is the idea e2 right? That can't be right. d3 right. Even more surprising. I guess this is another way to gain opposition on the black capstone. And now f5. I don't think f5 is particularly accurate because I mean, what's the intention here? I mean, white can just play c2 and chill, I believe. There's no real threat coming white's way. And if black goes d6, then you just go f4 minus. And you have opposition, you have attack threat. Well, really, it's a very strong attack threat. I mean, it's hard to even stop it. But yeah, I think you go for c2 or maybe d3. d3 does build the citadel, but I don't think the positioning of the citadel is particularly useful. So yeah, c2 looking very good. And we are seeing Abyss go down to 10 minutes already by move 13, while Pluto has more time than he has started with. So Pluto is playing very fast, trying to get Abyss low on time, and going from there, I suppose. I mean, yeah, I will keep saying it. C2 looks great here, and it is placed. So now what does black do here? Black can go f5 minus immediately. This would probably invite to e3 right in order to cut off black's vertical threat and also advance white's threat slightly. And also potentially threaten the f4 stack to recapture the liability there. I mean, black capstone does get free from the opposition, but it doesn't really want to go here, because that just doesn't achieve much, really. Although it would be an interesting idea. So here's an interesting idea: f5 minus, 2e3 right, and then 2e4 minus. So this way, black gains opposition, and well, okay. So if the white capstone comes over to f2, then the black capstone follows in order to cut the attack threat and keep opposition. Otherwise, if white makes attack threat on a3, then f2 can come left, and suddenly black has a vertical threat forming, and white's capstone is on the edge. So this might be a very interesting, subtle idea, to just take the 0 FCD move and just in order for better activity. Now that said, the rest of the board does not look to be in black's control. So white would still probably be much better here. But it does make the position more complicated to play. So Pluto is thinking now, he's probably considering between f5 minus, d6, c6, maybe even 2e4 right, but 2e4 right is a bit silly, I think. Okay, so he does go for c6, so we're not gonna see that crazy line that I mentioned. If I'm, yeah, I mean, if I'm white, I would immediately just play f4 minus. And that wall used to do something on b4. I don't know what 2b4 minus does, except for just leaving b4 open. And I don't even know if you want to play b4, you might just want to play on b2. And what that does, is, I mean, just force some awkward defense from black. If you go for a2 here, then a3 happens, and then what? Does the wall come over to a3? But then it stops protecting the b4 spot completely, which means b4 is very strong. It's a vertical threat and a horizontal threat like this. But okay, so white chooses to fill in on b4. Oh, what? Black just hung that wall. Now, admittedly, that is a -1 move. But, on the other hand, it's probably Tinue. So, and even if it's not, I mean, okay, yeah, what does black do after the smash? That's the real question, I suppose. I don't have an answer. I just do not have an answer. I'm looking at this position and I do not see a single move that black can make. Everything seems to just lose. Yeah, Abyss is going for it. Black is in really serious trouble now. Oh, so this move I think is... Well, is it anyway? Yeah, no, maybe. So if you go 3c3 right, 1-2, then that's attack threat, and I guess you always have f2 plus in these kinds of lines, which does save you from the Tinue. But it doesn't save you from the lasting damage to the position. And white wins by resignation. What? Black just resigned.
The next little bit here was really just stunned silence from Aliano 2 as he figured out that Pluto the Brave resigned because he just felt the position was so lost it was unrecoverable. I think that he could have done a little bit to get a little bit back, but it was a really, really tough position, and white was definitely strongly in the lead there. So I don't fault him if he was just tired and wanted to get it over with and didn't feel like he was going to win anyway. But that is all, and that means that Abyss moves on to the semifinals of this 2022 TAC Championship. But well played, Pluto the Brave. You did an awesome job, and I know you did better than you thought you were going to do, so congratulations for that, but also congratulations to Abyss for moving on. And again, that is all, so thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the TAC Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAC resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be on playtac.com or in the Discord playing asynchronously. Lots of people to play all the time and lots of other tack resources out there. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.